been said that if there's one constant, it is change. This is Timothy Hartwell with Destiny Seminars. The last few sessions we've been talking about essential leadership skills in the new economy. As this economy continues to evolve, it is imperative that we adapt to new methods of leading teams to meet the growing demands of the marketplace. That means we must adapt to change, and the way that we interpret changes determines the outcome that we design. There's a lady by the name of Portia Nelson, P-O-R-T-I-A, Nelson, that you can Google. Portia tells the story of her life in 5 short chapters. I'm going to add my little flair to it and kind of make it a little bit funny the way that Tim tells it, but here we go. I thought this was pretty good about change. I was walking down the street one day. There was a great big hole in the sidewalk. I fell in. I don't know how I got here or how that I fell in. It's dark, it's scary in here, and I know that it's not my fault that I'm in here. Somehow I must find my way out. And she does. Chapter 2. I was walking down the street one day. There was a great big hole in the sidewalk. I fell in again. I seem to think that I've been here before, but I'm not really sure. I know I have now that I think about it. It's dark, it's scary still yet. It's still not my fault that I'm in here. Somehow I must find my way out. This seems so familiar. Chapter 3. I was walking down the street one day. There was a great big hole in the sidewalk, and I pretended that it wasn't there as if that was going to help, but I fell in again anyway. How is it that I keep repeating the same mistakes over and over and over again? I try and change, but the change just does not come so easily. Chapter 4. I was walking down the street one day. There was a great big hole in the sidewalk. I decided to walk around the hole. Chapter 5. I was walking down the street one day. There was a great big hole in the sidewalk. I took another street. You see, change is that way where sometimes it does take a little while to learn, right? What we need to do differently. Change can be difficult, but if you're going to gain momentum in your business and drive forward thrust and drive a noticeable shift in the atmosphere of your business, you'll want to implement these concepts immediately. You know, it's all about perception and how we interpret the events that happen in our lives. What you might interpret as a pleasant experience, I might interpret as less than pleasant. Let me give you a real-life example. We're here in Dallas, Texas, where Six Flags Over Texas is nearby. My wife loves roller coasters. I don't so much. In fact, I don't know why anybody would want to get on something that would give them an automatic heart attack. Anyway, if you've seen the movie Weekend at Bernie's, there's like 1, 2, 3, I don't know how many of those movies there were, but there were a couple of kids in the movie that after Bernie passed away, they put sunglasses on him and a hat and took him all around so that they could get into nightclubs and do all kinds of fun things. Well, my wife says that when I die, you can see where this is going, right? When I die, she's going to take me and put me on the Texas Giant at Six Flags, and she's going to ride me all around before she puts me in the ground. I've hired an attorney to change that outcome. I want to discuss with you the differences between response and reaction. If I respond to something, then I will have a positive outcome. If I react to something, that's going to lead to a negative outcome in almost all cases. It's all based upon original experience that we have and then our interpretation or our belief about that original experience. Our interpretation of that experience determines whether we will respond or whether we'll react. Actually, we decide that ourselves. Understand that the original experience may have come from something someone has told us or the original experience itself. The interpretation is, what did I make that experience mean? How did I interpret that? And then of course I respond or react. Understand too that when I respond or react, whichever one, that's going to possibly create a whole new original experience and start the cycle over again. Our response, which is positive, I've already said, or reaction, which is negative to any given situation, is usually based upon our interpretation of an experience. These experiences can be seen, heard, or handed down to us from someone like our parents. These beliefs can have a positive or negative impact upon our thinking depending upon the interpretation our mind gives to an experience. This interpretation can also shape our concepts of life and drive performance to success or to failure. Therefore, if we're not getting the outcome that we want, we have to examine our perceptions and design a new one. You won't always be successful the first time around. So allow me to once again restate our principle about designing momentum. I try, I fail, I gain insight. I try, I fail, I gain momentum. I try, I succeed, now I'm designing my momentum with insight. Again, to design your momentum is a choice that you make. To design your perception is also a choice. To design your perception is to understand that our interpretations can distract us from our intended purpose or goal. Don't let that happen to you too often. When a difficult situation with another person is in front of you, I want you to think of the following principle and interpret the situation based upon this. Focus on the behavior, not the person. It's not that the person is a bad person, but it's a need to redesign the behavior that we want to experience. If you will commit to implementing these simple yet powerful ideas, you'll be designing your momentum from insight. I want you to write this down. I may not be able to control every circumstance, but I can control my behavior, my response to those situations. I want to say this one more time so that you make sure and get it. I may not be able to control every circumstance, but I can control my behavior, my response to those situations. You can make a huge difference in your organization, but you've got to take action and implement these concepts in order for them to work. My goal with these videos is to always provide you with high value, high content to enable you to be more effective as a leader and mentor. If you like what you saw in this video, be sure to like us and comment on Facebook with the button to the top right. And if you're not already on the subscriber list, be sure to give us your name and email, and we'll make sure you don't miss out on any issues. If you feel like we should be working together because you like the content here, want to bring a larger discussion for team leads, supervisors, managers, anybody in your organization, we have topics like integrity, conflict, emotional control under pressure, all those different things that are helpful to you. Perhaps you're considering hiring a coach or a mentor. Then simply go to destiny-seminars.com/booktimothy. Fill out the short form and we'll work together to design a strategy to gain forward momentum toward achieving your goals. I hope this was helpful, and I hope that we continue to stay connected.